Okay, once again, this is Bruce Dickey from the Arkansas Baseball Academy, and we're talking about our fourth phase of hitting in here. The reason we're going to pitching machines and how they're used, the safety precautions, etc. And this is for parents and coaches and the kids themselves, because frequently they will be doing the feeding the machine as well. We started off, remember we said everything that ends well has to begin well. Kids have to start from the very beginning. They have to understand the hitting three phases of start, load, step, and swing. Once they've gotten that, we're using some plastic bats swinging. After that, we take plastic bats and we go up on the batting tees. We have a whole row of them down there on the other end. And as a team, we're working on swinging. When they start to get the mechanics, we go to their regular bats that are heavier. And we have to work on that over and over and over. When we feel good that they've learned the three phases of hitting and they're starting to show good signs on a ball that's not moving on the tees, remember that we went and we started with tee work, putting the balls on the tees, etc., and doing it on a sawhorse so that it can't hit the bottom. And when they start getting that, the next phase we moved is into the underhand toss that we talked about here a little bit earlier, constantly reinforcing the same things. When they start doing well with that, beginning to understand strikes and hitting below the hands, then we move back to about halfway, and then we started the finger, wrist, and forearm snaps overhand. The next phase, and they have to show good progression in that before you go to something else. The next thing we do is we go to our pitching machines. And there are some safety precautions when you're in here. No kid or parent that's inside the cage can be in here without a helmet on. You get hit in the temple, people have been killed or seriously injured by walking into a ball. And so the safety, when you're back there feeding the machine, you never, ever, ever feed a ball in without knowing exactly what the batter's doing on the other end. And if you have 4 people rotating in and out of a cage, the people who are outside, they are responsible to make sure nobody feeds the ball until this kid is ready for it down at the other end. Now I'm going to go and turn on the machine, show how it's used. And it's important because parents, once you belong to the academy, you can come in on our dead times where you're not getting team instruction or on another time when you're getting privates. The other dead times, you can come in here at times and work on your own with your son doing some of the drills that we've already taught you. At this time, we're going to go to the pitching machine, show how it's turned on, etc. We look down here at when you look at a pitching machine, it has 3 wheels. They can all go at different speeds. And to the left, if you look here, it says baseball dial settings. It goes fastball, right-hand curve, left-hand curve, right-hand slider. It goes through all of them. These are machines, ATEC machines, top of the line. These are used by all major colleges, some high schools that can afford them. They're not cheap. They're about $3,600 a piece. And a lot of professional leagues use these machines as well. You can see over here on the side where it says baseball, it tells you what the dials. It says labeled left, then right, then the bottom. So we come over to the dials on the other side for a youth league fastball. These are just starting positions. It says 3, 3, 7. So we go 3, 3, and I go about 6.5. Now if the ball's coming out too fast, you just dial it down a couple clicks. It'll go click, click. Just get it where you want it. The off and on position is right here. And then if you look down here to the right, there's an elevation control. If you take this and you crank it this way, it raises it. If you crank it the other way, it goes lower. If the machine is hitting outside or inside, what you do is this pole coming down here, you just give it a little kick and it will move the ball coming over. So we'll give an example of this. We're going to turn it on right now. Hit the on. Takes a while for the wheels to get going. And anytime you change the dials to go to a different kind of pitch, it takes a while for them to all get going, so you have to be patient. So right now we're just waiting for the machines. This is a fastball, youth league level. If I had 10-year-olds in here, I'd put it 2.5, 2.5, 6. But entry level high school, 8th grade, start at 3, 3, 7, then adjust according to the athlete that you have. Now, one of the problems with feeding is it has to be done at the same pace every time. In other words, this is how we do it. I first look to see if he's ready. He's ready. What I do is I show it and feed it, just like that. Same pace. He's ready, show it, feed it. Show it, feed it. What I don't do is show it, feed it. Show it, feed it. Because what ends up happening is he does this. He's trying to get on a sequence of you, and if it's show it, feed it, he knows when to go. But if you go slower or faster, he may show it, he's thinking feed it, and you haven't done it, and he's sitting here and he can't get his stride ready. So it's really important you do it. Show it, set it on, let it roll down. Show it, set it on, let it roll down. Show it, set it on, let it roll down. Same pace every time. One of the problems that we have with the machine use is I call it rapid fire. You're not giving the batter a time to adjust. So you're not going to show it, feed it, he swings. Show it, feed it, he swings. He has no time to adjust, no time to process the feedback that you're giving him, so it should be about this pace. Show it, feed it, he swings. Show it, feed it, he swings. You might say, you're dropping your hands before your front foot touches. Give him time to process it. He gets in there, show it, feed it. I think you get the idea. Rapid fire, show it, feed it, show it, feed it, does no good whatsoever. Now what I'm going to do is talk about how we use these machines. These machines, when they get brand new balls, we'll shoot them in almost the same position every time. Right now, we have a variety of different aged balls. These balls get soft after a while, and when you mix in a soft ball, and some of them get real hard depending on the ball that you bought. The hard ones will shoot higher. The soft ones will come out like a changeup. So if you have some kids that are advanced hitters, you mix the balls all up so they can't tell what kind of pitch. They're all straight, but one may shoot it high. That's of value because they had to see high pitches and not swing at them. They need the soft ones to come out that maybe go a little bit low because they've got to know the strike zone. And if you get a changeup, you're sitting fastball. As soon as you see his changeup, you keep your hands back so you can at least swing with your hands. They need that. But at this point, you're trying to get them to learn to hit the inside pitch, high in the strike zone, on the outside corner, that type of thing. Here's the bad part. If you have the balls and they're shooting strikes every time, they're not thinking about swinging at strikes. So they can be a great cage hitter, run them out on the baseball field, and they struggle like there's no tomorrow because it's not the same skill. When you're in here, you're working on mechanics with a ball that's coming game speed, and it's coming to the same spot. Now, people always say, I know, well, how do we make the transition? Here's how we do it. Remember, on the side of the machine, if you go one way, it elevates the machine. If you go the other way, it elevates it down. So here's how the batter has to swing and how you make the adjustment. All right, what we do is we start out with a strike that's right about belt high or very close, and they stand in here, and you yell, below my hands, they step, bam, they hit that ball. And what they do is they don't look at the guy feeding, they back up to here. When they get here, they start to count. 1001, 1002, 1003, then they step back in. They're ready for the next one. The reason we have them stand out is twofold. The person running the machine, since they're not looking at it, may take that crank and go 1, 2, 3. That raises it. They step back in. They say, below my hands, shoots it above their hands. We want them to get used to have to not to swing at a pitch above their hands. They may swing at it and foul off. Here's where we get the mental side, and I'll be talking about being mentally tough, what that actually means later in another segment. They step back, once again, Thank you, Lord, for showing me something I shouldn't swing at. Help me out. I appreciate your help. And they step back in and yell, below my hands. They might take a pitch right down the middle and not swing. Right! It's right down the middle. They step back out. They get about 3 seconds. They're thinking, thank you, Lord, for showing me what I really need to swing at. Help me out. So in their mind, they're seeing that pitch right there again. It's like, bring it on. You put it there again, I'm going to knock your head off with this ball. So that's what we're working on. If you want it inside or outside, you can't necessarily do it. It's much more difficult, but you can get high and you can get low. And what you've done is you have introduced the fact that they have to have decisions. Now, a lot of people get in here and they make the mistakes. Let's get in and get some hitting. But then they're just hitting, they're all in the strikes. That's not going to help them when they get out on the baseball field, because they're getting balls thrown at them even. And they're ducking out of the way and they're hitting in the dirt. You have to develop and make with your skills leading up to game specificity. Very important in all sports, not just baseball. Now, one way that you can introduce the different pitches being thrown at different places, is we have 4 machines in here and 4 cages. So we'll start them off like this. I'll take a big screen. I'll come here to the middle. I roll it all up like this. And I take one of those brooms, long brooms, hold it up, and we drag a big screen, and this sits up on top of the screen, if you can visualize that. We do the same thing down there in the middle. Each machine is set for a different pitch. For example, this could be fastball. They can go over to this one, and then all of a sudden it's a slow changeup. And what they will do, usually work on 2 at a time, just one or the other. You can set another machine for a left-handed curveball, set the other machine for a right-handed curveball. So we will come in, they usually do this when they come in and get their privates and they've gotten some more skill level. We'll go 10 swings over there, or here, for fastball, 10 swings over there, and they just keep coming back and forth. Pretty soon we go 10 there, 10 here, they walk out, they go down there, right-handed curveball, left-handed curveball down there, then they're back here. They're 10, 10, 10, 10. Then they go 5, 5, 5, 5. Then they go 3, 3, 3, 3. 2, 2, 2, 2. Then one time on each one. You say, well, it takes long to do it. Well, if you want them to get used to seeing different pitches, it doesn't take hardly any longer to walk from one cage to the other and get ready than it does to be in here and swing. And the guy's stepping out, he's called strike one, and he's out here in the game. He's taking his time, you know. He comes back up and gets back in here, gets ready to swing. All right, by then you've walked from here over to the next one, you're ready to go. So that makes it more game specific. But what you want to do is you got to keep reinforcing that even if they get absolutely perfect, which they never will, if they have pursued excellence, like a man on a mission from God or something, they are still going to fail about 6 or 7 times out of 10 times at the plate, because it's a fickle game. You could come in and go 0 for 6 and kill the ball every time. Line drives right at somebody. One hoppers right at the second baseman. You hit jack shots, the guy's running back and he catches it. I had one game in college where I had 2 perfectly swinging bunts. I had one check swing single that blooped over the first baseman's head. I had another pop-up just behind second base that dropped in that either the right field or second baseman could have caught, but they didn't. All of a sudden, I go 5 for 6, and I stunk that day. But you have to pursue excellence so it gives you the best chance with the odds of the game in order to be successful. And I will tell you one other thing, and you're hitting. This is why we're always working on the mental side of the game. If you can't accept that you might go 0 for 13, you will never reach your full potential, because this sport will humble you a lot like playing golf. You're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days. I've seen some of the best athletes the world has ever produced in professional baseball have slumps of 1 for 32, and then from then on they hit like 320. You have to be willing to accept the game for what it is and be in total control of your emotions at all times. That ends this part of the pitching machine, the rotations. This is what we do at the Arkansas Baseball Academy to go from the simplest level all the way up to the most complex. And then once you get outside, of course, you want to get as much live hitting as you can, but you just can't get enough of it. That's how I established a national home run record that lasted for about 3 or 4 years. Is we didn't take any live hitting at all. All we did was hit off pitching machines. We took them right outside. We had one in the main cage, one on the outside, protective screens in front. One would pitch, then the next one would pitch, then the next one would pitch, and they would rotate from one screen to the next. And I calculated, and we got 16 times more hitting than anybody in our competition. Research says it's tracking ability of the ball that matters. So you got to track that breaking pitch that's going away from you. Track the ball that's coming into you. Track the ball that's a changeup. Over and over and over and over to get you in the best possible position to get on base 3 times out of 10. Thank you so much for your time and attention. If you have any questions, I will help you in any way that I can. Thank you for your time.